the most legendary Webosphere film review show of all time. Welcome to the channel, Planet X Film, youtube.com/Planet X Film. Feel free to give it a like and subscribe on the video. We've got our man Jack Death, aka Mosh Shinobi. I am Ross Bell. I look a little bit like Sheriff Bell from No Country for Old Men. No, not really. That's Tommy Lee Jones. I'm just simple Ross. But there's not too much channel news. I'll just start off briefly while the link populates. We're going to do Sisu 2, The Road to Revenge, next week. Gaz is fresh off his screening. I'm going to see mine next week. I recommend that everybody go watch Sisu 1. It is free on Tubi. I know No Country for Old Men is also free on Tubi. It's also free on YouTube.
And Netflix as well.
Yeah, I think it's only going to... Yeah, absolutely. I think it's only going to be free on Tubi for another week for No Country. So if you miss it on there, go pop over to PooTube. But I also recommend you check out our review of Sisu 1 because it was my movie of the year that year. Absolutely love those guys. Yeah, there'll be some updates thinking about a couple Zodiac shows. Gaz and I have reached out to a guest to get the Cryptid Files Volume 1 rocking and rolling. We've both been shout out to the new Cryptid documentary, The Siege of Ape Canyon. It's brand new. Go check it out on YouTube. I think it's on a bunch of other formats as well, kind of popping off there. So a lot of things going on. Just trying to remember if there's anything else popping on the channel. We'll probably do the Crow graphic novel review when we come back, and then there'll only be like 3 shows left for the year, guys. So get your likes and your subs in now while we're rocking and rolling, and hopefully all you No Country for Old Men, the Coen brothers, neo Western heads, are going to get in here and pop off. So we're probably not going to do too long on this one, guys. It's a just over 2-hour movie, 2007. It's another anniversary show. You guys know we're big on that here at PRS, and I will give you that exact date, which is November 21st, yesterday, 2007. Country of origin. I can't talk today. The U.S. of A. Obviously a Coen brothers production, as we said. I'm going to get ripping into synopsis. No Country for Old Men. Violence and mayhem ensue after a hunter stumbles upon the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong over $2 million in cash near the Rio Grande. Genres: contemporary Western, psychological thriller, serial killer, crime, drama, thriller. All the Zodiac and true crime heads, we're giving you some crime with a little touch of serial killers. So hopefully that scratches the itch for everybody. Anything, initial perceptions or intro before we pop off, guys?
Not really, man.
And then we will keep on. We'll keep on trucking. So I'll go ahead and pull up Wiki and give you guys a little bit of intro. It's a 2007 American neo-Western crime thriller written, directed, and produced and edited by Joel and Ethan Coen, based on Cormac McCarthy's 2005 novel, starring Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin. The film is set in the desert landscape of 1980 West Texas, USA. The film revisits the themes of fate, conscience, circumstance, and that the Coen brothers had explored in other films. Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, and Fargo. I need to rewatch Raising Arizona. It's been so long. Have you seen that one, guys?
Probably like No Country being so long. This is only my second time seeing No Country.
Yeah, Raising Arizona is like late 80s, so it's like I believe Nick Cage is the lead. So
right.
I mean,
nice.
Put your request out, guys. If you guys want us to hit Raising Arizona, it's a classic. I wouldn't quite say it's a PXF classic, but it's definitely a legendary classic. Obviously Fargo, you've all heard of. I really liked the Fargo TV series. The problem was they did that thing, Gaz, where they changed the cast every season. So the first season was Billy Bob Thornton, and it had Key and Peele in it. I forget who was in season 2. It was really good. And then season 3 was our boy Train Spotting, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why can I not remember dude's name? You know who I'm talking about, young Obi-Wan. Yeah. So he was in season 3, but he played like twins. So it's always kind of weird when you have one actor playing ×2 of himself. But I you should check out Fargo, Gaz, if you let it, like the series, if you let it marinate I think it would get to something that you would really like at the end of season 2. I won't tell you what it is. Back to No Country. It follows 3 main characters: Llewellyn Moss Brolin, a Vietnam War veteran and welder who stumbles upon a large sum of money in the desert; Anton Chigurh, Javier Bardem, a hitman who is sent to recover the money; and Ed Tom Bell Jones, a sheriff investigating the crime. The film also stars Kelly MacDonald and Moss's wife, Carla Jean, and Woody Harrelson as Carson Wells, a bounty hunter seeking Moss and the return of the money. I know where Gaz is at on Harrelson. I thought his cameo was absolutely epic in this. I think he's only in, like, is it 3 scenes, maybe 4?
Yeah, he's one of the standouts, though.
And also the finance dude is, that's what is his name? Milton from Office Space.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah, that was him behind the desk.
Nice looks, man.
When Chigurh came in and dusted him. So yeah, it's just crazy cameos in this movie. Really, really good casting all over the place. No Country for Old Men premiered in a competition in the 2007 Cannes Film Fest on May 19th. The film became a commercial success, grossing $171 million worldwide against a budget of $25 million. Critics praised the Coen's direction and screenplay and Bardem's performance. The film won 76 awards from 109 nominations from multiple organizations. It won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, 3 BAFTAs, and 2 Golden Globes. The American Film Institute listed it as an AFI Movie of the Year, and the National Board of Review selected it as the best of 2007. It is one of the only 4 Western films ever to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, the others being Cimarron in 31, Dances with Wolves in 90, and Unforgiven in 92. I did not know that, guys. I don't know if you knew any of that stuff.
Me either.
No Country for Old Men was considered one of the best films of 2007, and many regarded as the Coen brothers' magnum opus. It has since been widely recognized as one of the greatest films of the 2000 and 21st century. The Guardian's John Patterson wrote, "The Coens' technical abilities and their feel for landscape-based Western classicism, reminiscent of Anthony Mann and Sam Peckinpah, are matched by few living directors." And Peter Travers of Rolling Stone said that it is a new career peak for the Coen brothers and is entertaining as hell. In 2024, the film was selected for preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. A question about the Library of Congress, like nowadays, do they just take like a 4K DVD, or like, obviously back in the day they were putting tape down there, but I always wondered what format are they saving now? Is it Blu-ray? Is it 4K Ultra Disc? I need to ask somebody that question, because you know what I mean. A fact probably no one wants to know other than me, but well, do me a favor and don't get this and There Will Be Blood mixed up. Although I love There Will Be Blood, it's absolutely epic. Featuring, what up, Jay? Featuring one of my favorite actors, Daniel Day-Lewis, many consider to be the GOAT with his many Best Actor Oscars. He's actually back in that film that his son directed, guys. I think I mentioned it to you. I forgot the name of it, but it came out recently. Obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis was supposed to have retired.
Yeah.
Evening chats. Let's get this party. A major mistake on my end, guys. I should have had a cowboy hat for this. I looked for one when I was in Phoenix. I didn't get to it. Next Western, I'm going to make a PRS promise for you guys. Ross in a cowboy hat. That's a must for the Western and Neo Western. So we'll fix that little glitch there. Anything from the audience or you, Gazzy, before we get into some plot here?
No, not really, man.
All right, let's party. Try to get the fix my lens a little bit so we can get the PXF logo in there. Plot. I'll just say this, guys. The first time I watched this movie, like, I'm not sure that I picked up it was the 80s, because I was so, obviously there's no cell phone, so you know what I mean, but I was just so engaged in the setting, as you said, that I considered it more modern. Like, I knew it obviously wasn't like the 40s or the 50s, or maybe I just thought it was like the 90s or some kind of like loosely, but clearly it's 1980 West Texas. I don't know anything about Texas, West Texas, never been there. We'd have to get our boy Drew Beeson from Houston to give us a little more background. So in terms of realism, I wonder if there's any breakdowns on YouTube of, like, we watch like What's the Difference channel, like book versus movie. I wonder how much, like, I know specific parts of dialogue and things that were used in the movie out of the book. But I wonder how like 1980 heavy his like location setting was, McCarthy's being the author. What up, Slippy? We got an anniversary for you, bud. No Country. Pixie, you made it.
Yeah, that would be cool to see it compared to the actual source material, as always, to see if it's actually any difference. So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure for the most part they probably. I mean, I put pretty good faith in the Coen brothers. They've clearly shown through the amount of awards they've won that they know what they're doing. No, it made some money. I mean, we covered that on the intro. If you just joined in, you can pull back, Jay, to the beginning and see what we said. But I think it was. I mean, I don't think it was like a blockbuster, but I mean, it was up there, man. I mean, it put up numbers. I mean, the Oscars. I mean, several Oscars.
I'll put the disclaimer out now before I get heat, so I'm going to inevitably give people a disclaimer. I think like with everything, and then it sounds like a kind of sitting on the fence answer, Ross, but it's true. It depends what you like. I'm not a big fan of this film at all, but I can recognize the filming and the acting. You've got to do that. It's not a terrible movie. I think for some people, it's their top film of 2007. I prefer American Gangster personally. That's more. I would lean more towards that. So,
American Gangster was sick.
I mean, it's got a bit. I mean, it is up there for the acting, Ross. Even if you don't like this film,
it is.
Which I'm not a big fan of. It's there for the acting. I would say the directing. You can see why the guy's got an Oscar.
I mean, you mentioned that as well. I mean, they have some crazy camera angles. I mean, their directing is like most people just talk about the Coen brothers dynamic. Like most directors can't work with a co-director. You know, it's like, hey, dude, when I say something, I need it to fly, and people are always like, dude, how do you guys work together? And they're like, it just works, you know. So.
Boo, fight Pixie, but I'm not a crime guy, so all the crime stuff, unless it's to do with triage, accused, or anything Eastern setting, I'm always going to be because I'm going to be the minority. But I tell you what I do like, Pixie, Hallmark Christmas movies. That's where it's at. I like seeing all those green, ugly sweater jumpers. I'm there all day, Pixie. That's where it's at. Sorry, Ross, just derailing things.
Yeah, no, Gaz has a lifetime subscription to Hallmark channel and Lifetime channel, so he's a madman over there.
We're going to cover one soon. You know how every one of those movies is the same.
It doesn't matter which one we cover; we'll encompass them all. All right, let's get into plot before we get derailed. We know what happens over here. In 1980, hitman Anton Chigurh is arrested in Texas. He escapes by strangling the sheriff's deputy and steals a car by killing the driver with a captive bolt pistol. Later, he spares the life of a gas station owner for correctly calling a coin toss. I do want to mention one thing, guys. There's a film, I believe it's called Seventh Seal, about a Templar returning from the Crusades, and he has to play a chess match with the Reaper. So I watched a YouTube breakdown. I'll try to find it for you guys. Maybe I'll put it in the description later. Yeah, that's correct, my brother. And it takes a lot of these conscience and morality and questioning God and the afterlife themes are basically the same themes from that movie. I don't know if it's French or Italian. It's like a black and white. That
sounds sick. That sounds mad sick.
I think it would be more up your alley than
I'm for that, man. Definitely
having similar theme, like the same movie themes, but a totally different film.
Yeah, that sounds super sick.
I watched the movie right after reading the book. It was a pretty faithful adaptation, but there's some stuff they left out of the book that better fleshed out the characters. Yeah, thank you, Fried Oyster Skins. We were wondering about that. I was going to have you guys wade in. You look new, Friday. Feel free to subscribe if you're enjoying the content. But yeah, Gaz and I were just mentioning that question. I would like to take a look at the book. I've never really read like a Western book or a neo-Western, so I think that would be cool for me. These intro scenes, so I do have one criticism upon my second watch. I also, despite having no idea it was 1980, that I was so enamored with Javier Bardem's performance that for years after this film, Javier Bardem was Anton Chigurh to me because he absolutely. Now, I think he only did 2 or 3 English-speaking roles before this.
Yeah.
And this was his first U.S. production. So now he's a superstar, a Bond villain. What was that, Spectre, guys? So
yeah, he was sick in that.
So now he's a superstar, but at the time he kind of blew up on the U.S. scene, the Western scene, if you will, and got this Oscar. I just like that guy absolutely murdered the role, so to speak, pun intended. But if you are a keen reader, you'll be able to pick up on things a more casual reader might now. Yeah, man, I'm down.
Nice.
I'm down. I maybe I'll check it out at some point when I can clear out the schedule. But yeah, so I mean, right off the rip, like, dude, serial killer character gets arrested, kills the cops, steals the friggin' cruiser. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? Where is this movie going? You know what I mean? Like, and the ending as well. So yeah, Slippy's been mentioning the Seventh Seal. Yeah, that's my bad, bro. You know, shit slips past me, so to speak. But not on that. Now I'm onto it. So yeah, I think that'd be up Gaz's alley. He's into the more legacy European films, especially the Crusade era. So so that scene, Gaz, in the police station, like I really like the way the law enforcement element is depicted in this film, from Bell and his deputy to, you know, obviously Sugar killing these cops and breaking out. The tension, I think the Coen brothers are probably maybe the best tension directors in the the slow burn's not for everyone, guys. I know, like, you're probably not feeling the slow burn in this movie. I know Caesar hated some of the slow burns in the past. They grew on me. I used to be the same way, but then I like got addicted to westerns and spaghetti westerns, and now I'm a slow burn nerd. So, you know, things could turn around. But
those kind of Nestons. Sorry, Ross. I got tongue-tied to myself, said Nestons instead of Westerns, so continue.
Oh, good, brother. The gas station scene, the symbolism of the coin and Sugar making people call heads or tails, like, on their life. Just as another thing I want to say before I overly nerd out on the Bardem performance is that when they hit him up, they were like, "We want you for Anton Chigurh," and he told them, like, "I haven't. Yeah, we're coming to that too, Garden. No music in the film, guys. Did you notice that? No score, just wind. Crazy, right? It was so slow for you.
I didn't actually know.
The wind went by in the window.
It did, yeah.
But yeah, so that reminded me of Kurosawa, Gaz, as we talked about the elements, how he used the nature elements. I think the Coen brothers took a page out of that with the wind.
I'm going to jump ahead here. It's a bit of a spoiler, but there's one part, like I say, regardless, at the end, I'll be putting it into two categories. I'll be looking at it from the filmmaking angle, the acting, and then personal opinion, which is obviously different. But
yeah,
the scene where Woody Harrelson's character is in the hotel, Ross, and is walking up the stairs, and Javier Bardem is behind him slowly. Yeah. Now, a lot of people often don't talk about that scene, but where you see the floor in the background on the stairs, that is excellently well done from a filmmaking point. The angle,
the framing,
everything. Yeah, it's excellent, Ross. It kind of, even though it's got color, it kind of reminds you of one of those really old school movies where they would show the whole staircase and the wall and everything in the background.
Yep. Yeah, the old TVs in the hotel room. Yeah. I think the Coen, like, I was looking at the cars and just even when Chigurh opened up the Band-Aid box and it was like that legacy Band-Aid. I'm like, dude, they got every detail right. It's a bit like David Fincher with Zodiac. Like, he called cut on a scene because he thought the dumpster in the background wasn't period specific. So
and that happens a lot with Tommy Lee Jones's appearance as well, where he's talking to, I think, one of his deputies in his office, and you see everything in there. Yep. Also, when he visits his friend Ellis in the latter part of the film, and he has all the cats there in the background. So that's replicated quite a lot. Yeah.
Ellis, Gene. It's a bit like what we said about Scott in Blade Runner, with just like all those background knickknacks in every scene. It's just like incredible framing. So when the Coen brothers hit up Bardem, I believe I've seen him talk about it in interviews. I hope I don't get this wrong. He told them no, like, hey, listen, I've only done like 2, like, you know, he's a Hispanic actor, obviously. He's like, I don't know if I'm that comfortable in English yet. And I think they just kind of pushed on him, like, you're perfect. We need you. Guy shows up to set, absolutely kills it, wins the Oscar. You know, I can't highlight that enough. You know, some guy that's like, hey, I'm not sure about the English language in a Hollywood production, comes out completely spitting fire. Love this guy. He's got his little Maui retreat out there. I didn't know that was a remake. I love 3:10 to Yuma. I'll have to watch the original. 310.
Yeah, I've never seen the original either, but as far as I know, it is a words are escaping me.
The remake. It's a talk show. Neither of us can speak. The remake is absolutely insane. So anyway, there was some background. But yeah, just that gas station scene. Just the tension between the guy, like, hey, what am I? Flip the coin, call heads or tails. Like, hey, what am I flipping it on? He's like, you have to pick. He's like, well, around these parts, like we need to know what we're calling it on. I love that back and forth between Shiger and I know it's like it's like an intro scene, if you will. But the whole conversation, he's like, this is my wife's parents' place. He's like, oh, so you married into it? He's like, yeah, if you want to put it that way. He's like, well, I'm not putting it that way. That's the way that it is. Just the way they wrote Shiger's dialogue was absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely. There's another thing as well. I like it sometimes when they have those interactions with random characters, particularly from Javier's perspective, where there's that early scene where he's asking where Llewellyn is, and she's like, the clerk is saying, what don't you understand? You can't give out your details. And he has this kind of like polite, threatening demeanor about him. And it kind of makes the other characters who he interacts with feel a little uneasy, even the guy who has the truck 100%. With the chickens in as well.
Yep. Can you move the crates out? What do you mean?
Yeah.
So Jay, I watched this on Tubi, but it's free on YouTube. I think sometimes Gaz watches it on cable. I don't really have cable. If I have a Blu-ray, usually I'll hold up my hard copy. I don't have a hard copy of this. We can't tell. We're not allowed to say where people work. So we'll move on a little bit. Meanwhile, Llewellyn Moss is hunting pronghorns in the desert. He comes across the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong, finding several dead men, a wounded Mexican man begging for water, drugs in a truck, and a briefcase containing $2 million in cash. He takes the briefcase and returns home. We'll break that scene down. I just think it really set the tone for the rest of the film of the Mexican standoff with all the dead bodies, truck bed full of kilos of cocaine or heroin. I guess it never really explained which narcotic it was. Obviously, he sees the tracks, just that whole hunting scene, the framing of the cinematography, really good before he even finds the bodies. And then obviously he finds the one dude under the tree with the money. Very awesome. Yeah. I remember my first initial perception of it. I was like, this is just going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Don't know if I've seen that. I don't have any agua. Tubi's free for another week, but get it on YouTube if you can't. What up, JSV? It's just like, did you have any reaction to that? Him finding the bodies in the standoff, guys?
Very well done. Obviously, very well filmed, very well laid out. As you said, sets the tension there, sets the atmosphere, which is continued further when Josh Brolin's character actually takes the money as well, as we'll get to. So that was just what initially went in my mind. I think for a lot of people who aren't fans of this film as well, always prefer, I've heard them say they always prefer the first hour rather than the second.
It's more like a mystery at that point.
But I think there is, it's just a little bit too of a slow burn for me, but there's elements in both hours that, are good, that stand out. That's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I think it moves pretty quick, like the first hour, as you said, because Antoine has the cop kills. We know Llewellyn is coming back at night. He fills up the gallon of water. You don't have to go too hard on him, Pixie, but he gets it. But he obviously grabbed the SMG. He pulled the clip out of the dude's pocket when he was asking for why. I thought that was funny when he reached over and just took the mag. I'm like, so he gets home. Carla Jean asks him, like, hey, where'd you get the pistol? He takes a briefcase, returns home. Feeling guilty, he returns with water that night, but finds the man who's been murdered. He looks up to the ridge and sees two men with guns who pursue him in a truck. He escapes by diving into a river. After making his way back home, Moss sends his wife, Carla Jean, to stay with her mother. I love the escape scene. I thought that was super sick, from seeing the shadows on the ridge to dodging the bullets under the truck, sliding under the truck, to running down to the river, taking off his clothes and diving in the river. I thought he really nailed the rugged Texan hunter. He he knew how to survive the landscape and whatnot. Runs down the river. Gaz knows what I'm about to say. I used to be a dog trainer. I'm a dog fanboy. So he comes out on the land. They stick the dogs on him. He blows out the pistol from being wet. He obviously reloads. He shoots the dog, which sucks. Albeit a drug dealer's dog, but I'm always pissed off when an animal dies in a movie. So doesn't happen in Sisu. I'm just pointing that out. Let's see what we got. Bow, bow. Yeah, no. I mean, Brolin has some, he's all over the place.
I never went in at the time expecting to be a Jason Statham movie. So for some people who are expecting that, I'm certainly wasn't one of them. Don't know how they're going to get to that conclusion. It's just, again, it's just not my type of film. Simple as that, guys. I'm not really a crime dude outside of what I've said, but I can recognize the positives. Someone coming out thinking it was a Statham movie.
Well, I get his point though, because it's also not like a Tombstone level shooter, right? Like you're not going to have guys lining up like the Revolutionary War and blasting each other in lines. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen.
Caesar,
yeah, right. I think everybody takes, and a lot of it too, guys, is the story. This is based on a book, so it's probably not the type of book Gaz would read. I know he's into space epics like me. The Western period was only about 20 years in the USA. Europe never had a period like that. Sounds obvious to me, but I know people think, and I totally agree with your point there, Gaz.
But
Jay, go ahead, Gaz.
But that's what's interesting, Jay, is you could argue that Japan certainly had with its Eastern, as you saw in film, with the elements. Absolutely. That's what's interesting. You've got these two polar opposite cultures in a way, but you've kind of got the Eastern, which is why you would think there'd be more better crossovers of the Eastern Western themes, Ross, and sadly the one with Mifune, was it Red Sun, wasn't that great, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would have been nice to have Mifune in Star Wars because he could have brought some of that to the Obi-Wan role. But interestingly enough, though, Europe doesn't have a Western period yet. Where are many of the spaghetti Westerns shot? Italy and Spain. So even though they don't have the period, they kind of have a re-emergence with the U.S. productions going out there and shooting a bunch of.
But there is but what's cool about this, and this is where the neo-Western side comes in, Ross. There's the part where Josh Brolin's character is trying to evade the people who are after him. I'm trying to not give away too many spoilers here. There's an awesome frame of the whole landscape, and that definitely is homage to the legacy era Westerns. I was pretty cool, especially the way he was just sat there. I know it's just a really simple shot, but you can see the influence.
100%. I think that's we read all that. The critics. I mean, I would say they do, because essentially in this film you see that Mexico is right on the Texas. Well, if you want to. Many people brought this up. Remember when Mexico was trying to keep out the U.S.? That was a long period of history. So unfortunately, we purchased the Texas land. Yeah, it not only does it have a real lifestyle pacing. I like the neo-realism of the ending.
Yeah.
You guys know the true crime series we do, right? Cold cases.
I think that's maybe what
cases go unsolved.
No, that's right, and I think that's maybe what's a little off-putting for people maybe outside of true crime and crime, that we hear about this all the time, people being shot and unalived every day in some fashion, so you want a bit of entertainment and escape from that. There's no one to really root for, so it's quite depressing, but it is not a terrible film by any measure. And I think that's very Coen brothers, right? They're very crime oriented, very unresolved, and very I think that's where they bring the realism through the script. It's not always a happy ending in an unsolved cold case, right? So, and the other flip side of that is, I love when Clint Eastwood comes to town and he dusts 500 guys by himself, but realistic wise, nobody. The same with all of those Asian action movies and everything I watched, and even Sisu 2. There's a lot of moments in Sisu 2, y'all, where it is eject your brain, but it's very entertaining, and it's pretty crazy.
Much like Sisu 1. I don't know about New York, but I'll tell you about Massachusetts. So Salem used to be one of the biggest ports in the country, early, pirate era. So people know Salem for witches, but there was actually a major heavy pirate element in Salem. So I'm from New England there in the coast there, as guys knows, Assassin's Creed 3. But let's get back in here. So stay with her mother. Shiger is hired to recover the missing money. Meanwhile, Terrell County Sheriff Ed Tom Bell begins investigating the failed drug deal. Shiger searches Moss's trailer home using his bolt pistol to blow out the door lock. Moss takes a taxi to a motel in Del Rio, where he hides the briefcase in his room's air duct. After Moss returns to the motel after purchasing new boots, he sees the curtains in his room in a different position from when he left and rightly assumes he has been found. Following a tracking device hidden in the case, Shiger goes to Moss's motel and kills 3 Mexican mobsters who are waiting for Moss in his room. Another grimy kill scene, if you will. Moss has rented a second room adjacent to his first room with access to the duct where the money is hidden. He retrieves the briefcase before Shiger opens the duct. What I was going to say is the camera angles, guys, of him sliding it into the duct. I thought those were really clever. What was the other thing I was going to say about that? Okay, so my two criticisms, like, they're giving you Llewellyn as this salt of the earth, kind of like clever, like witty, resourceful, can figure things out guy. Gaz, he doesn't look for that probe until like halfway through the movie. You guys know my background. I've spoken on it many times here. Bro, if that's me, the first thing I'm doing is moving that money into another bag. I'm not going to carry it around in the bag that the drug dealers had in it, or split it up into 2, bury one, I'm just saying common sense. I mean, I'm sure they were just following the narrative of the book, but when he finally found the transponder, I was just like, bro, I feel like he would have looked for that a lot earlier. And then, of course, you wouldn't have Anton Chigurh tracking him for the entire movie. But did you have a take on that? Or it was kind of just like, hey, this is the plot, whatever,
Yeah, that pretty much.
Yeah.
As I keep emphasizing, what did stand out to me was just the framing throughout the movie. And I'm going to wait till we get to the final act because there's something else I've just remembered as well, which was very well done. But I just think the framing, the angles, there is lots of. Did you notice, Ross, as well throughout the movie? When he does have the money and he's handing various notes to people and it's got like the blood stains on, just the way the camera kind of just give a subtle nod to that.
Yeah, that and the other theme was socks and bloody socks. Dudes getting their feet all messed up from the cowboy boots and like taking their socks off. Like, so, I don't know if that's like a Tarantino obsession with feet or what. Obviously, I know why Shiger was doing it, because when he walked out, he was checking his feet for leaving the blood stains or the blood footprints. Interesting. Already covered that. Moving to a hotel in the border town of Eagle Pass, Moss discovers the tracking device, as I said, but Shiger has already found him. Their firefight spills onto the streets, badly wounding both and killing a truck driver. Moss flees to Mexico, hiding the case along the Rio Grande. Shiger cleans and stitches his wounds with stolen supplies. This would be guys were talking about earlier. So, I want to break down some of these. The shootout in the streets is absolutely insane. I would love to know what McCarthy, whatever his name was, the author, Cormac, what he his influence was, because I can't. I'd have to look it up historically. Was 1980 West Texas that violent that dudes were just blowing each other away in the streets in the middle of the night? Again, I'm from New England, guys, so I don't know anything about the South, but it seems like played up. You know what I mean? But maybe there was, some cartel violence. I mean, obviously I know nowadays what's going on. I live on the border, but, so I don't know. Like, I didn't know if it's a movie, right? So I'm like, is this realistic for the period? Or, I'm sure it happened once in a while, but the way they showed it, it's like, dude, if you were having massive shootouts in the street every day, and then you got the Tommy Lee Sheriff Bell character, he's not really investigating, right? The deputies keep asking him, what's he want to do? And he's just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, I think the FBI would get called in at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like,
just giggled at Jay's comment there. Wasn't that famous series as well where a ship went past in the background or something? There's one, and of course there was the coffee with Game of Thrones,
and
as
also
well.
a truck bed in the back of one of the reveal battles. It's like, yeah, which one of the Targaryens pulled up in that pickup back there? Maybe a plane in the air, like plane had a Troy. Oh my God, one John Western had a car in the background when he's riding a horse.
There's one thing I will say, Ross, though, the shootout scenes, particularly one between Josh Brolin and Javier later, you know, when Josh is using a shotgun, that reminded me of Dirty Harry, man. Dirty Harry has seen OG where Clint is out, and that was very much of that kind of vibe, and that was pretty sick.
I could see the Coens being all over Dirty Harry from the neo-Western themes. I mean, I just like when Llewellyn jumps in the random guy's truck, like, hey, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to need you to get me out of here. Antoine shoots a guy, and they're like Antoine is one of the most soulless serial killers I've ever seen in a movie, like next to Zodiac, next to Seven, because not only is he going after the money and the people involved in taking it, but he, like Gaz said, he kills all those random innocent bystanders in between, like just absolutely, you know what I mean? It's just like cold as ice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And it's subtly done at times as well, because like with Kelly MacDonald's character, you know, I know I'm skipping a bit to the final act here, folks, but and he just leaves the house, so you know he's unalived there.
Because she didn't pick, so people who won't pick, he takes that as an automatic.
And that's a constant theme with him. I mean, he like I said earlier, he's got a very, very calm yet menacing demeanor about him. He's like he's well presented most of the time, quite polite, quite well spoken. There's just something unsettling there. It's not a guy you really want to.
His philosophy, he's following a philosophy which only applies to him. A bit like his ambivalence is a bit like Molasar from The Keep. You know what I mean? That is just like, it's gonna be my way or nothing. You know what I mean? Which is interesting.
And you're right. And people, it often leaves you thinking, as you said, the innocent bystanders are just obstacles to him. And I'm just going to either use this to get this information or get this point, and I really don't care. What happens where you'll see in other movies, those hitmen, they've got the job to do, but they'll just go to that target. They'll try not, maybe try and draw too much attention to themselves by taking out innocent bystanders, etc.
I mean, I feel like he did a lot, though. I mean, I think the thing was he was on that TV show for a very long time. And then, but, he was a little bit upper in age. I mean, as Gaz said, he kind of I think you were there for our Dirty Harry review, Jay, but like we were talking about how like he's a bit like a modern cowboy in the city of San Francisco Bay. You know what I mean? Is obviously a detective or whatever Harry was. So he kind of took that genre into what I think is like a more modern urban crime U.S. theme, which is ultimately where, U.S. crime films went, or Western crime, if you will. But it's a good question. Hopefully we get Clint on soon.
Just realized we're also kind of being a little hypocritical, saying I wasn't into crime and everything. Yeah, I like the Dirty Harry movies. When we covered
I mean, I think there's a little more to the Dirty Harry movies than crime. There's a lot going on there. The first one obviously follows Scorpio. It's more of a Zodiac type thing, but after that, he kind of, the Deadpool franchise kind of spins out. I mean, I think you like Clint. I don't think that's gonna get held against you. Pixie definitely started noticing things about him at a few different points.
How pistols could get into certain positions.
I don't.
Anyway,
think just, like,
I'll go back to being quiet,
so to speak. Yeah, please do, guys. Please do, guys.
His aim was on point. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more gun puns before we continue? All right. Okay. Retrieves the briefcase before Shiguro. Where am I? The tracking device. Okay, the shootout. We were doing the shootout. Okay. So, pretty cool stuff. Llewellyn makes the trip across the border. I do love the border shots, guys, of the Rio Grande and that transfer center. I don't know what they called it back then. The dude is obviously sleeping in the booth when Llewellyn crosses over, runs into the teens drinking beer, buys the shirt for $500.
That scene, Ross, just to jump in on there. So again, there's not really been any good characters in this movie. Even those teens, and then quickly realize we can get more money out of him because he offers to buy the jacket wants a bottle of beer. One of them says how much. The other guy says, right, take the beer. Now, I think for those who on a first watch, there's a little bit of a trick here because you could think those three are going to take out Josh Brolin because they kind of look around to see if there's any way about this guy's vulnerable position. Yeah, so that's very well executed.
Yeah, great pacing and mood and tension there. So he makes it over. He passes out, wakes up in the morning. The mariachis are singing to him. Basically, I think he hands him the bloody bills. Get me to the hospital. So next time he I think he passed out from his shock. But next time he wakes up, Gaz's boy is all over him. Carson Wells, a bounty hunter, visits a wounded Moss in the Mexican hospital, offers protection from Chigurh in exchange for the money, but Moss refuses. Chigurh ambushes Wells at his hotel. That's the scene Gaz was talking about, framing on the stairs. The phone rings as Wells is bartering for his life. One of Chigurh's other rules is no bartering. If you try to barter with him, you're donezo. Chigurh shoots him, then takes the call from Moss, vowing to kill Carla Jean unless Moss gives up the money. Moss tells him, like, yeah, you're not going to have to find me. Like, I'm going to come find you. Sets up the old Mexican standoff. So some pretty good conflict building there. Moss retrieves the case from the Rio Grande and arranges to meet Carla Jean at a motel in El Paso, where he plans to give her the money and hide her from danger. Carla Jean's mother unknowingly reveals Moss's location to a group of Mexicans tailing them. Bell reaches the motel in El Paso, only to find that the Mexicans have killed Moss. Carla Jean arrives later and weeps when Bell somberly removes his hat. So, yeah, I want to break down that scene because it went by kind of quickly for me on the first watch. Really good framing, the continued motif of Llewellyn going back to the gun stores. We call them like outposts, out here in New England. So back to, has the boots. He walks in with just the boots on from the hospital. Like, hey, how those boots working out for you?
That was pretty cool.
I need everything else now. Do you get a lot of naked guys walking in here? Not really.
No, it's unusual.
Some of that Coen dialogue is just like, no. But rearms, got the rifle on his back, and I think that's another reason why the West Texas or Texas overall location is so good. Them open carrying, because you're not going to see, even out here, guys. I know you guys think that we're all John Waynes out here, but you're not going to really see that opening carry. Yeehaw! You're not going to see that open carrying. So I just liked how he had the rifle on his back. You know what I mean? And talking to the girl at the pool. You want to come back to my room for some beers? The next time we see him, he's laid out on the bathroom floor, and all the Mexicans are dusted as well. So it's kind of like a semi-spiritual sequel scene to that first Mexican standoff that Brolin found of all the dead bodies. Now he's one of the bodies on the ground of the massive shootout. It went by super quick when I watched it the first time. Like I said, my only criticism on the second watch is that, like, I would have liked to have seen that one, because, like Gaz said, I think this is where some of Gaz's criticism comes from. The movie followed Llewellyn like he's going to be the main character for so long. Yeah, it put Bell in here and there, and then it almost kind of followed Antoine Chigurh like he's the main character, but he's obviously the antagonist, Anton the antagonist, if you will. So they kind of do a switcheroo on you. And if you're used to these very like linear follow one character through the movie type thing, probably get lost on it. But this one, I would have liked to seen the first Mexican standoff shootout. You don't need to see that because you can see the drugs, you can see everybody dead, and you can see the money. So you know what happened. But given that they followed Llewellyn for the first 2/3 of the movie, I thought you would see the end of his character arc. So I would have liked to seen that one on screen. That's my only second criticism besides the pro.
Yeah, it's a little anticlimactic now. Even if he wasn't going to survive, which he obviously wasn't, just to have that little bit of a standoff. I don't know how it is in the book. I know somebody said it's quite close to the source material, so I don't know what happens there. Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, for me, Ross, I would have liked the Punisher to have appeared and have a Punisher edition of this.
1980s
that would have
Punisher.
been, the Punisher just taking everyone out, man.
They're all bad.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, the movie kind of, you could even argue it's kind of a 3-character movie in a way. Your 2 main
Yeah,
characters,
absolutely.
Josh Brolin, Javier, and then Tommy Lee Jones, who I do think is phenomenal in this movie. It actually made me want us to cover a movie we've been talking about for a while, The Hunted, that he did with
We have to
Benicio
cover
del
The Hunted.
Toro. That is a sick movie.
Sick.
So I feel, Ross, you see more, I guess, more resolution in a way, even though it's not clear. And we don't fully get that, but more on Anton's character than Llewellyn.
100%.
So, I can understand why it could be a little bit disappointing.
Yeah. And again, like when you watch it the first time, it's just like, okay, especially if you haven't seen a Coen brothers, you don't really know what they're about. You're like, okay, they're just like these all over the place, kind of a bit like Tarantino is with Pulp Fiction, the way it jumps around on the timeline, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, that night, Bell returns to the crime scene and sees the lock blown out. Chigurh appears to be on the other side of the door holding his shotgun, like that's a bit how he shot Brolin earlier on when they had their shootout in the street. Bell hesitantly enters and finds the room empty and notices that the room's air duct has been open. Bell visits his uncle Ellis and tells him that he plans to retire because he feels overmatched by the recent violence. Ellis tells Bell that he cannot evade fate and only vanity makes him think otherwise. Like I think Ellis has one of those sick cameos, just like Harrelson, like Gaz was saying about Harrelson. What that reminded me of Bell talking to Ellis, Gaz, and Bell talking to that other dude in the white cowboy hat, who I think he was another chief. What Bell was saying about the his granddad being the original sheriff and how they used to not carry guns. Like those dudes were like the old heads, and they were telling him like,
that was cool.
You know, crime gets worse and worse. You know,
yeah,
it's gonna get worse and worse in modern times. More drugs, more gun. Like I think that's a really theme that they hit absolutely hard.
Yeah, and there was those subtle references because there's a few conversations with Tommy Lee's having with various characters where people are talking about how things used to be and then talking, I guess, almost about a degradation of society, as you were saying, Ross, how things are getting worse and worse. And then Tommy Lee, I wonder how people, like the legacy lawman, if you like, would have
handle the new
how it dealt with it. So that is one of the interesting themes.
Yeah, I thought that was an amazing theme. Yeah. Really nailed that one. Carla Jean returns from her mother's funeral to find Chigurh waiting in her bedroom. Chigurh says that he must fulfill his vow, but offers a coin toss as a compromise. Carla Jean refuses to call it, saying that only he could be responsible for her fate. Chigurh checks the soles of his boots as he leaves the house. You guys know what that means. The boots theme, changing of the socks, changing of the boots. I like very grimy, depressing scene, as Gaz was saying. Obviously, like the serial killer killing women who are not even, she doesn't have the money. So she's really not directly related to the crime, only because her husband found the money and he sent her away. So it's kind of just against Llewellyn. What Anton was telling her about, I offered your husband to make the deal, like for your life, and he declined. You know what I mean? That is a grimy conversation to be having. You know what I mean? So like, especially when you know what her fate was. So I thought that, added that extra degree of evil for Anton Chigurh's character.
You kind of could argue again when Kelly MacDonald, got a break in Train Spotting, does very well playing Carla Jean Moss. When she enters the room again, the framing is good, Ross. Anton sat there, and you could argue that he enjoys playing with people as well. He's playing with their mind as well, because he's saying to her, as you said, right, choose, pick a side, and she won't. And she says, when I first entered this room and saw you, words to this effect, I knew how things were going to go. I knew how crazy you are. So it's reinforcing and emphasizing to the audience that Anton is an absolute lunatic, very, very crazy. But what makes him more crazy, Ross, is he's completely calm. He's completely calm. There's no shouting, raising his voice or anything like that. And then he calmly walks out, and then we're about to get into the next scene as well.
Yes, absolutely. leaves the house, checks his boots, soles as he leaves the house. As he drives through the neighborhood, another car crashes into him, breaking his arm.
Yeah.
He pays a passing boy for the shirt off his back to use as a sling and limps away. So, I mean, a lot of the unresolved, non-resolution, non-ending, like criticism, I can understand, because it's like one of the most evil serial killer characters you've ever seen on screen. And Brolin, the guy who is supposed to be the rugged, salt of the earth Texan, ends up dying in the shootout. Chigurh gets away. You know what I mean? So I can see like why like a lot of people, he's obviously recovered the money, as Bell established earlier. He pulled it out of the vent. So not only did he get the money back to the cartel, you'd think with the amount of innocent people he killed, cop, he's going to die in some Devil's Rejects shootout with the cops, and he's able to pay those kids for the shirt and is essentially limps away. So
it's very grimy and very realistic. So for those probably like me that maybe want a little more entertainment, will find that depressing, because as they said, it isn't the happy ending or the resolution for Llewellyn in the way that we wanted to see what happens. Right. So this they keep things very grimy realistic. Now, if you are from if you're used to that and no problem with that, then yes, you will rate it a lot higher. So I could see probably that's why people on my side kind of things would be a bit meh with it.
It's a divisive film, especially now retired, Bell shares two dreams with his wife. In the first, he lost some money his father had given to him. In the other, as he rode on horseback through a snowy mountain pass, his father rode past him carrying fire and a horn, and he knew his father would prepare a campfire ahead for both of them. So there's a lot of breakdown on YouTube of what the dreams mean. I won't go too deeply into it, but you can... Okay, this is PXF Grinch channel. Don't.
I think Jay's request. I think Jay must have heard me shouting out Hallmark Christmas movies earlier, and that's what he's wanting us to do. So yeah, we'll work on that. I know Ross would love that, Jay. We can break it down, see how many times we can see the red and green throughout one of those movies, reinforcing Christmas again. I think Ross, we're waiting for that with bated breath, man.
Which brings up an interesting question: is Rambo a Christmas movie? Because there's little background on the desks. So we'll have to investigate that further and deep dive that. You know what I mean? Or maybe I put up a poll. You guys vote for the PXF Christmas movie: Rambo, Christmas Die Hard, movies. Lethal Weapon, or Gremlins.
Yeah.
Of course, they're all action. I am a Scrooge. I can't stand the holidays.
Jingle balls.
Moving on. Silver balls. Okay,
on the 12th day of Christmas, I still haven't got out of bed.
Shite missed me and gas slept through. Waiting for January. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. We might have to get Rocky in the mix. That's a good. Okay, moving on. Production. Producer Scott Rudin bought the film rights to McCarthy's novel and suggested an adaptation of the Coen brothers, who at the time were attempting to adapt the novel To the White Sea by James Dickey. August 2005, the Coens agreed to write and direct the film, having identified with how it provided a sense of place and also how it played with genre conventions. Joel Coen said that the book's unconventional approach was familiar, congenial to us. We're naturally attracted to subverting genre. We like the fact that the bad guys never really meet the good guys, that McCarthy did not follow through on formula expectations. So it seems like that was true to the book, guys. Ethan Coen explained that the pitiless quality was a hallmark of the book, which has an unforgiving landscape and characters, but it's also about finding some kind of beauty without being sentimental. The adaptation was the second of McCarthy's work, following All the Pretty Horses in 2000. I haven't seen or read that. Couldn't tell you. Let's talk. Hold on. Let me get a grasp here, because there's a lot on here. There's writing, title, differences from the novel. Craig Kennedy adds that one key difference of focus, the novel belongs to Sheriff Bell. Each chapter begins with Bell's narration, which dovetails and counterpoints the action of the main story. Though the film opens with Bell speaking, much of what he says in the book is condensed, and it turns up in other forms. Also, Bell has an entire backstory in the book that doesn't make it into the film. The result is a movie that is more simplified thematically, but one that gives more of the characters opportunity to shine. Jay Ellis elaborates on Shiger's encounter with the man behind the counter at the gas station, where McCarthy gives us Shiger's question, "What's the most you ever saw lost on a coin toss?" He says. The film elides the word saw, but the Coens, of course, tend to the visual, where the book describes the setting as almost dark. The film clearly depicts high noon. No shadows are notable in the establishing shot of the gas station, and the sunlight
That's
is
mad.
bright. Isn't that crazy? The
That's
sunlight
mad,
is
bro.
bright, even if behind cloud cover. The light through 2 windows and a door comes evenly through 3 walls in the interior shots. But this difference increases our sense of the man's desperation later when he claims he needs to close, and he closes near dark. I noticed some of that. It is darker, as it were, in the cave of this man's ignorance than it is outside in the bright light of truth. Like, there's a lot to unpack. You can really break down every detail of this film. Yeah, I get you. I haven't seen Krampus. I know our boy C's is big on that one.
Krampus is pretty sick. I've seen a few of
The
them.
only thing I know about it is there's a Krampus level in Killing Floor 2. We've got
Yeah.
filming, directing, musical score, and sound. We know there's really none. Style, depicted violence, similarities to early Coen Brothers films, genre. Trying to see home media. We'll probably just go. All right, the last one I'm gonna do is filming. The project was a co-production between Miramax Films. I think they're gone now. I was a big fan of them. And Paramount's classics-based division in a 50-50 partnership. And production was scheduled in May 2006 in New Mexico and Texas with a total budget of $25 million, at least half spent in New Mexico. Production was slated for the New Mexico cities of Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and Las Vegas, which doubled as the border towns of Eagle Pass and Del Rio, Texas, with other scenes shot around the West Texas towns of Sanderson and Marfa. Coincidentally, Paul Thomas Anderson's film, somebody brought that up earlier, There Will Be Blood, another partnership between Miramax and Paramount, which competed with No Country for Old Men. I think that was you, Tim, was being shot at Marfa simultaneously. So there is a connection, bro. That's why you keep getting confused, because they were shot simultaneously. The Coen brothers were actually forced to scrap an entire day of filming for No Country for Old Men when preparations for the oil derrick scene in There Will Be Blood nearby produced enough smoke to ruin all potential scenes. Like, hey, what's going on over there? Oh, don't worry about that. Daniel Day-Lewis is just blowing things up over there on that other movie. bunch of smoke in the sky. We can't film today. Okay, whatever. You know, that's how filming is, man. You got another production going on next door in the town next door. You never know when Lewis is just going to start blowing things up. Gaz changes headbands from black to Christmas red and green. I like it. Got him. I also like seeing
do a carol service for you.
You guys are on one. Where was I? Reported. Okay, Derek scene. Eddie Moore reported that the U.S.-Mexico border crossing bridge was actually a freeway overpass in Las Vegas, New Mexico, with a border checkpoint built at the intersection of Interstate 25. Yeah, I was wondering about that because it looked so realistic, guys. But, you know, a little movie magic there. However, those two roads do not intersect. The Mexican town square scene was filmed in Piedras Negras, Coahuila. So I guess that was in Mexico. That's awesome. It looked like it, but yeah, you know me. I never know what is a CGI background. I don't think the Coen brothers are too big on that, though. Like, this movie looked pretty practical from what I could see, guys. In advance of shooting, cinematographer Roger Deakins saw that the big challenge of his 9th collaboration with the Coen brothers was making it very realistic to match the story. I'm imagining doing it very edgy and dark and quite sparse, not so stylized. And that guy absolutely nailed it. I'm surprised he didn't win something. Everything's storyboarded before we start shooting, Deakins said at Entertainment Weekly. In No Country, there's maybe only a dozen shots that are not in the final film. It's that order of planning, and we only shot 250,000 feet, whereas most productions of that size might shoot 700,000 or 1 million feet of film. It's quite precise, the way they approach everything. We never use a zoom. He said, I don't even carry a zoom lens with me unless it's for something very specific. The famous coin tossing scene between Shiger and the old gas station clerk is a good example. The camera tracks in so slowly the audience isn't even aware of the move. When the camera itself moves forward, the audience is moving too. you're actually getting closer to somebody or something, it has, to me, a much more powerful effect because it's a three-dimensional move. A zoom is more like a focusing of attention. You're just standing in the same place and concentrating on one smaller element in the frame. Emotionally, that's a very different effect. In a later interview, he mentioned the awkward dilemma that No Country certainly contains scenes of some very realistically staged fictional violence, but without this violent depiction of evil, there would not be the emotional payoff at the end of the film when Ed Tom bemoans the fact that God has not entered his life. I think we can kind of end that on there. Just gonna
interesting as well, Ross. I've only ever seen this movie once, and I don't think I was a big fan of it, but again, I respected the acting. Tommy Lee, didn't he do In the Valley of Eli in 2007 as well? So that's pretty epic, isn't it, for him? Because he was good. I know he was very good. I don't
think I saw that, to be honest with you, so I'm not sure what year it would have been.
I think it was 07. I'm not 100%.
Home Alone's a classic. This movie made 120 million from a 25 million spend, so it's him. But I agree. Last thing will go out on disputes. Tommy Lee Jones sued Paramount for bonuses and improper expense deductions in 2008. The matter was resolved in April 2010 when the company paying Jones a 17.5 million box office bonus after a determination that his deal was misdrafted by studio attorneys. Those studio attorneys settled with Paramount for 2.6 million over that error. What's the lesson there? Don't mess up on Tommy Lee Jones's paperwork. He's a superstar. Then you may need to pay him $20 million. No big deal. Shout out to Tommy. Absolutely crushed it. I think we're getting to rating time, folks. So I'll lead us off. Feel free to drop your ratings in the chat, audience. You guys know me. I'm a Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee, Javier Bardem fanboy. And it has a 8.2 out of 10, 1.2 million reviews on IMDb. Metascore is 92, 39 critics. I'm a 9 out of 10. I'm a fanboy of the film. Gazzy, do what you got to do.
So the miserable section. Okay, diplomatic mode activated. Here we go. I'm just going to set the entire true crime fan base that side of PXM here. No, I'll split this into two. It's like being in college again, where you stood up there and say, "Oh, so what do you think of this?" I'm like, "Well, it was good in this." Right. Okay. Filmmaking. From both the way it was shot, Ross, with the angles and framing, landscaping, building atmosphere and tension, showing you every detail in the background, subtle references to subplots and themes. You have to recognize that even if you are not a fan of this film. So that's why I'm at about probably 7.5 for that reason. For people who are fans of crime, especially true crime, I can see why you would rate this very highly. My personal view, I'm at a 4. Not that I think it's an absolute terrible movie, about 4 or 5. It's all right.
Pacing
too depressing for me. I need a bit of entertainment.
You want it to go somewhere instead of just every.
Yeah, there's no one I can really root for either. However, the acting is phenomenal. Especially Tommy Lee Jones, when you think about it, even though he is in the film, he's kind of like the third character compared to Josh Brolin and Javier. So Tommy Lee, I just think that he was phenomenal. He really is, but he's a top drawer actor, absolutely incredible. So I would give his performance 9 out of 10 for that alone. So there you go, you've got 3 ratings.
Yeah, I don't know if he was A-list. I mean, the fact that he was able to sue for 17.5 million. I have to assume that
I rate him
he was
highly,
worth some money. I love his get him. I love Under Siege though. We still need to do Out for Justice.
Yeah.
We didn't talk briefly before we go out. I'll just say that like Llewellyn Moss, like Greed, tried to get the money. Antoine Chigurh, he's kind of like pure evil. He's kind of like like Consequence. I want to talk about how Chigurh killed, this is for you, Epic Freestyle King, the finance guy, Milton from Office Space. The finance guys were involved with the cartel money, and again, corruption, he represented corruption. Shiger came right in his office and killed him. And then that other guy was there. He's like, "Are you going to kill me too?" He's like, "I don't know.
I'm from accountant.
Have you seen me?"
Yeah.
The answer is obviously no when that guy asks you if you've seen him. Yeah, Brolin is him. He's got a really good resume. We really haven't deep dived a lot of his other stuff, but Brolin's resume is crazy.
So let me ask you this. And again, people feel free to weigh in on this. Would you like to see Ross? I would. I think I already know the answer here, so it's a rhetorical question, I guess. Yeah. Josh Brolin in kind of a good, more action-oriented Western, even something that was kind of legacy-based. I think he would be pretty sick in something like that as a bounty hunter sheriff or even the leader of some outlaws.
I want to say that he is in some more recent ones. I'd have to pull up exactly what he's done. But Josh Brolin, so he grew up on a ranch. He's up from California, and he was out in Santa Barbara for a long time. So given that he was a rancher, I got to assume that he has that oh yeah, no, there's plenty of things of value behind me, but we'd have to do a special on that. Here, let's just pull up to see. I mean, you've seen him more recently than me, guys, in the Buttman, but I think that
he was good in that. I mean, it's a terrible movie, but he was
the only
good
thing about it.
Yeah.
He obviously we love him as Cable in Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
he was in Weapons. Honestly, I kind of went to Weapons just for him, but okay. So he was in Outer Range. That looks like it's a TV show, and that's a Western, guys. It was Amazon.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
So he must be the sheriff or something. So he's got that going on. Let me see. So of course, Matt Graver in Sicario 2, Day of Soldado. There's a lot of talk about Sicario 3 going down. The Legacy of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. I don't know anything about that, but it seems like it's a Netflix. They cast him in a lot of hunting movies, apparently. Hey, you got Josh Brolin. He's got to be a hunter, right? Like, let's see. Only the Brave. No, it's a firefighter movie. But I think he does have some. But yeah, given that I got to assume that he has the horseback riding and stuff in his pedigree, given he grew up on a ranch. Well, he's Tom Chaney in the True Grit remake, guys. Have you seen True Grit?
Yeah, I have. It's not bad. It is a slow burn. Some people really like it, some don't. I haven't seen the original, so I can't compare it to the original, but I didn't mind it, to be honest. I think we covered it actually years ago on our other show, before here. I'm sure we did, me, you, and Mac.
Yeah, I think we did. Let's see. So he's got a lot of stuff out there. I was just trying to see if he had anything that was like specific, and now I'm back to his 90s stuff. So yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, I think he would absolutely kill it. I mean, I think he's one of the better actors out. In the future, we'll have CGI movies to Elvis, Clint Eastwood, and John Wayne in one movie. It will be done in maybe 10 years. I mean, we all have our own personal hell, and I think this is me and Gaz's. So, I mean, once they start copy pasting Bruce Lee, you're going to see me smash.
I was just about to say that.
I'm going to break everything in my room the second I see him.
I mean, it's been happening with bands and artists for a while. It's there's been a lot of chatter about that the last few years, conversations I've had with bands about it. And you already see those concerts, don't you, where they'll and it's especially with pop music, and they've put on, the former pop stars or whatever, all CGI. And I mean, the point it's going to get to, Ross, is it going to be a band where you've got the AI, and then you've got, on bass is laptop 1, lead guitar laptop 2. There's our drummer laptop 3.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot of custom stuff that, there's quite a few autographs back here. Chuck Palahniuk, author of Fight Club 3, and then I think I have, just so you guys know, I'm not fronting, but Roddy Piper signed my They Live Blu-ray. I have Rob Zombie's autograph on 31. I have Lloyd Kaufman's autograph on my Toxic Avenger collection. So I have a few autographed things back here. But actual value, I would say most of the stuff is probably more valuable to me than it would be to you guys. Other than the autograph things, which you'd have to pry out of my cold dead hands. But yeah, guys, I think that will do it for No Country for Old Men. Like we said, go peep it on YouTube for free or catch it on Tubi for the next week. Pick up a hard copy.
One moment, Ross. One moment. I'm just going to get it something for them. Oops.
Sure.
I thought I'll just see if I can get it. I'll show them. Just in the background is mainly all the martial arts combat stuff. But if you can see this, if I can roll, that's the Celtic flag there.
Sick.
Let's go as the Celtic, and then there'll be various other things of that nature underneath it. So tidily put. So yeah. Not there's anything so interesting, Ross, as what you've got in the background. There isn't.
Next week. Oh well, yeah. I guess. Since he came.
There you go. Punish it.
He came up earlier.
I
have a Deathstroke, the Terminator. I have a few high quality comic books in the collection. Mostly comics. I collect comics, cigars, and firearms. That's about it, guys. And obviously physical media of movies, which you guys have seen many times. Next week we're probably gonna do. I can't breathe. We're probably going to return to. Wait, did we? Oh, Sisu 2. Sisu 2, Road to Revenge. Did you want to do a little preview of that, guys?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm still trying to decide if I like the first one better. I think the first one maybe has a bit more story. The second one, it's very minimal dialogue. Extremely. Stephen Lang is good though. He's on form. There's some hilariously over the top scenes which I've got to wait. I'm tempted to drop a spoiler, but I won't. They make you laugh out loud. This one I'd say is the other one has a little bit more building parts, a little bit more story. I'd say Ross showing you things that are going on from that era, whereas this is pretty much straight down action, but it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I do want to shout out Sisu again. My movie of the year. If you like John Wick and you want to see kind of a World War II John Wick, definitely support the first one. It's free on Tubi. If you haven't seen it, you can check out our Sisu 1 review. And if you're a theater guy like me and Gaz, or a theater person, get out there and support Sisu 2 Road to Revenge. These kind of grindhouse, ultra-violent action movies, they don't get much support in the theater. So if you can get out there, check it out. If you're waiting to stream it when it comes to home or rent it when it comes to VOD, that's cool too. But if you're, kind of hardcore action like we are in this channel, I highly recommend that you all go check out Sisu 1 and Sisu 2. After that, when we come back, we're probably going to return to the graphic novel series and do The Crow, the OG by James O'Barr.
Really good.
A little bit delay on the Days of Sodom, but you guys can check out our kind of reaction to the Days of Sodom trailer and the scene that they dropped on Cody's channel, Wet Paint Pictures, and I'll obviously give you guys an update on that. The Skate to Hell premiere is going down. I think it's January 15th or 18th in Nevada. I think it's Vegas area. I'll try to make it to that if I can. But definitely check out the trailer for Skate to Hell. It's out now on Sean's channel, Cool Duder. And I will give some Days of Sodom updates when I'm able. They're talking to studios now, so it's like out of my hands, but I'll give you guys an update when it comes. John Wick versus Taken. Yeah, it would be cool. Liam's getting up there in age. I feel like Keanu would wreck him at the current juncture, but Liam's got a couple movies out too, the sequel to that Ice Road Trucker film. So, think that's basically it. Join us next week for Sisu 2. It's going to be an absolute war. I think I have my Sisu 1 over here.
Oh, sorry about that, folks. We've just got the construction workers butt shot there. Hopefully you aren't scarred.
Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. It's, you can blur that out on your screen. So Sisu 1, so you guys know what's good. Make sure you look for that. But yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll get out of here before they demonetize us for nudity.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just scarred now. My previous scarring was the recreation of that scene from Roadhouse and Lawrence fan film. You remember? Stay on your break. It's just been beaten.
It's a Saturday night thing over on
that's one way of putting it.
TV. Yeah, go pop over there and take a look at that. It's classic. Yeah, I talked about Ned Kelly in depth, Jay. You know, as far as the look of his metal armor's influence on the Zodiac. I have a PowerPoint on Jerome's channel, Mysteries of Mr. Belgique, so you can go check out that Ross Geraci special report. But yeah, no, obviously Mick Jagger played him in the early film.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger.
Not interesting.
Yeah, I'm big into the Kelly clan. That's probably my favorite thing going on there down under. But that'll do it for today, guys.
Good choice of words.
Yeah.
Down under. I'll try to behave.
Yeah, before we have any more crack leaks, you know, you never know what YouTube is going to censor over here. I mean, we said it's Grindhouse. We didn't mean to go all the way full Grindhouse on you guys.
I think Pixie, she may be getting excited and be noticing things again.
Yeah.
But we're providing stimulants now as well.
Yeah, no, dude, it sucks. Blockbuster's gone. I think there's still one. Is it Oregon where you can like bring
really
sleeping bags and you can they let you rent it out for the night. You can stay there.
Wow.
So, but that's it sucks that it's gone.
Yeah.
But, that'll do it, guys. Paradigm Review Show. Like, sub, share, click join to get a membership. You can sub Gaz over on Mosh Shinobi. We do have a bunch of new things coming soon. Twitch.tv, Planet X Games, Cosmic Invasion is dropping in about a week on the 1st. So Gaz and I will probably be on there and probably get some other, you know, ninja stuff going or whatever action streams going for the on the game streams. So that'll be it. Unless you guys have any final questions for me. And join us next week for Sisu 2, The Road to Revenge. William Shatner special.
Pixie, we'll get you a calendar for you so you can have that shot along with Van Damme from Bloodspot and everything. So there you go. We do reward our members.
Yeah. all your favorite screen grabs of over the years. So all right, guys, we're out. Hit us up next week. Where can I say the screen on? The answer is everywhere. You can post it over on the Patreon, you know what I mean? You can, you can post it in the post section. I think the better question is, where can't you share it? You know what I mean? I guess you might Facebook, they might censor you. You know what I mean? Might get dicey over there. So you guys are welcome. You know, I always told the industry I wasn't going to do any nude scenes, but maybe I'll have to revisit my policy.
You finally got as well and truly. Well, you haven't. You've got me many times, but that one's finally pushed me over.
Yeah, pushed me over the edge. Yeah, Gaz brought us to the brink, and I just, you know what I mean, took it to the limit. Push it to the limit. All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving. We're out. Like, sub, click join for a membership. You can check out the Patreon. I'm not even doing the outro. I'm out. Peace.